Um, Let me say this that crime, because what we are discussing is crime. Abuse is also part of crime, and crime doesn't. It's not related to any ethnic group. It's not related to any religion, and it's not also related to a particular sex, and it's not also related to a particular tribe. Why I say this is because yes, I know over time people see issues like this coming up in Onisha. But the issue of Onisha, ifuna Onisha where as a place is, there is an expected thing that's supposed to be happening. So that's why I had you focusing on the thing, the more no Onisha. But let me explain how it is. In Enugu State, we have instances of cases of cult-related issue. And from our little study, we understand that it's as a result of campuses, a lot of campuses that are there. And that is what made it to have that case of issue of cult-related issue. In Abakaliki Street in Anambra, we have cases of prostitution, and in Abakaliki Street is a place where things are happening. So and that is where some of these brothels are located. So if at times when we buzz there, someone mentioned, I think Ijela was the person that mentioned a very celebrated commissioner, one-time commissioner of women affairs, if you've been able. She used to boss most of these brothels in Abakaliki Street. So, which other place have I not mentioned? I'm just using this for us to understand the concept of crime, and so we will not misquote it as something that is targeted to a particular place. Onisha has this environment of where Anazumu boy and Beth Anamu Oraka, and there were a lot of house helps and a lot of people that are serving their madams and their ogas. And they believe that because of these people are not too enlightened, and they believe that no Ijiraki Kesobefa like that, that's when you are expected to get results. But at times they don't know that when you show love to Watakele, the Watakele will change. And the Watakele himself, because of that environment on here, his mind is also corrupted. That now no more instances of Oga Emeka serve go unwa boy serve girl for several years or settle earlier. So unwa boy in that aspect or that maid, if we or when plan B or man you be any na serve the man at the long run if we issue, and then when such issue if now again a very big gap that is happening. So whether is not far from the truth. Is not far from the truth, but as a result of every climb produces its own style of or every environment produces its own style of reported issues. Unlike the way police is now, let me use police as an example. Here in Anambra, we because of the security concern here, common invitation even to go and invite someone, you need to at least arm yourself and go with one or two persons, because at the presence of any police in an environment, maybe some people will become aggressive and offensive. So they don't see police as a welcoming individual. They see it as people that come to do one or two things in that area. So it is just a psychological issue. Let's not pick it as is something that is happening in a particular area like that. Thank you.
Doma, quickly, I asked SP the role of religion. Igbo women are Christians. And one year say no no kakega for say all these things. Now if onya kadialoka, they get from their house help. Christianity as a religion, a call Buddhist menace, afuelia. Kedu ihe feel when it comes to kedu role if religion they play when it comes to child abuse in Ali Igbo? Go ahead.
No, I don't think this is a burden that is, that can even be placed by the church. If you look at the colonial history of where this ET comes from, you got really justification in any holy book about sparing the rod and spoiling the child. Onye choime abuse or go that same Bible go something else. Go justification for that. So now the burden is on individuals. Because on the right? So the church can, pastors can preach about it, put it as part of their their gospel. But what you find out in a lot of churches in a style, for me, and I know this is a personal bias, but I think that the tighter the head tie, the more wicked the heart sometimes. Some of these women are not if I in the you joke when no more so this is not a matter of being a Christian or not being a Christian. You also have to think about that how this comes in from post-colonial times. Judea ancestors are as a way to, so that gets passed on generation after generation. Now it's you mark here with because then when we emota, right? Imota, why are they not picking those places? So it has gone beyond what the church can do. Pastors can, because when the women Nigeria now hana anunke di haniku hana enunke ndenyi haniku mana we kenunke fadaku monke man of God, right? So the Lady Gio or Mommy Gio. So there's a way to do, but it will be in terms of partnership. Haneme, as so how I but how do Mommy G Osokwa, Pastor G Osokwa. Ndianyi Adigo, we have become. It's like over time, I serve on the altar, I serve. So this thing of serving, so chakwania. Now, OTA, so you no gino uru. OTA si meya, o behave, no be tia, and the more, it's almost like the more mpahana hona ahoya, the more hane tinya ba. Why doesn't it stop? Have you asked yourself, why doesn't it stop with the first beating? Because the more the child survives it, what the koyen keti gidere nwatakiri ihe nwa ha nwo oburia nwobi obi akaya buru nwa ha ga toba n'ime ohia. Okay, omo na ejidere nwanya ahụ na akwa ya kporokwa me ede ọzọ, right? Now ihe ya matazi na ya akụ ya ka ya akụ ya convulsion, but na ekwe ya convulsion onwo igakwaga tufuo ya, and that culture stay. So eche na nwanya ha na eje ụka ije na onwe ike soro na ihe na my grandmother not fact. I don't know, like all these hair tie and all that. So I don't think it's the church or justification or dear and all when he megi desire or the culture or in him accept rather. Thank you.
Okay, King's Choice. Can you place the camera where we can see your full face? Go ahead, please, ma.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Officer, good evening. So, my concern about this particular topic, I can relate it to what happened to this young girl that just passed on recently. And then I woke up this morning to the issue of, I was just scrolling on Facebook because over a time, because of all this incessant killing and all, on Facebook, I can't sleep after all of those things. So, my primary concern is the responsibility does not fall on the parents alone. I'm glad that you mentioned church. I know a lot of us, especially anyone see from Africa, especially Nigerians, are very religious. And where part church can play. over the time before I relocated, I was a teacher in Nigeria for over 10 years. I was a teacher. I handled young people over years. While I was the youngest, as a youngest teacher in the school, I had the privilege of, having this rapport relationship with young people. A lot of these people could not confide in the so-called guidance and counselor school, because a lot of times, which myself I also experienced that during my time, when they speak to these teachers who are assumed not just teachers, are mothers with experiences, after they've told them things, they make jest of them. I've walked into, what is it called, where teachers are gathered in one place, I can't remember, a staff room or something, and they are talking loudly about children's situation, which is also common in our homes. A lot of children cannot still talk to their parents, because I want us to look beyond behind our phone. Let's take it from the roots. Because if takwa the society, you man touch office or it's police when the morality is not from home, and the church where we all have our hopes on are not teaching what they're supposed to teach. I also, apart from being a school teacher, I was also a Sunday school teacher. I was really, really against. Sometimes when you walk into the big churches, if you has the 14 years, 16 years, how can on a big church? What are they doing there? And we're processes. I went through Sunday school for children. What to my grandmother's is warm. So you develop one or two things. It got a big church. We went through all of those places and processes. Behind now for a lot of young people today, were hadra and we SM Anglican and rapo oku and we processes. But my problem now is, are they teaching the right things? Are they providing the right information? Are they sensitizing these children enough? Okay, so I'll give an instance. This thing happened before. So a parent complained now a daughter of hers was being abused, and who abused this child was the father. She came to me. I said, you need to report to the authorities. She told me, back and forth. I was even trying to, I was a young person as at that time, I kept on fighting and fighting. Do you know where the matter ended? She told me finally that no go demand deliverance. Are you serious? What do you mean? So but then again, if I informed choices, consent, it's not in my place. I'm not the parent. But then we can report. But I don't know how we manage situations like this back home. I can report without even, it's like whistleblowing. But there you can't just do some things. Landlady or landlord do no onye bi na ya do no fogi no zo kurugoro gi ye kuna na tena yard. Those things, ways that I don't know how to put it. But it must not be your child. And even a religious leader, because me during my days as a Sunday school teacher, I take my time to have conversation with young people. Now let me go back to when I was a teacher. I had a lot of young people, their guidance were actually abusing them. In Abuja, what I did within my capacity, I have a mentor in school. I will speak to her. She will tell me one or two ways to go. And then I have a group of friends that were lawyers and some NGOs back in Abuja. I reported some of these cases and I followed up on some of the girls actually got therapy and all of that before, in Manonyo and West End. And where parents go, or parents because there were proper ways of doing things. I had limits and I was under authority. You don't also want to drag your school. You don't also want to drag processes. Do you get? So, but I'm glad that I helped some young children within my capacity. So, these people are role models. They should be able to play beyond this scripture. I feel like most of them interpret it how it suits them. And that is why because I don't want to even go there. Because apart from having a teenage daughter and having some children who look up to me as a mentor and all of that, I studied religion, and to be honest with you, it broadened my mind to so many things. Holy Ghost fire can also matter how to train our kids. That's a pure lie. So and about spirituality. We now fail to play the physical parts. You can raise up a child by to morning devotion, night devotion. If you don't have one-on-one time, to invest, other knowledge and, bring life situations to these young people, they just to based on around them. Like when we talked about the issue of the girl that was, recently, I saw a lot of factors. I said this guy is not only that I don't even know how the story, but I want to also look at a grown-up man who is about 40 and a girl who is 20. So 20 years age gap, and this man has probably seen the background where this girl is coming from. She's hungry, she's from a poor background. So hotel, you are not wise all the time. And when you have manipulation, and when you have you don't know the amount. Even as grown as I am, we can say, okay, I just want to relax or just want to chill out somewhere, and then we can go to business later. I said, okay, as naive as she may be, or as I may be, I said, okay, no problem, chill, have your time. And then from there, you don't know that conversation that has entered. Now, obviously, this girl didn't go there because of ego, but conversation, marry pattern. And like I was also telling somebody, this girl also told somebody, what advice did the person give? Until now, we're now looking at how she's wayward, how the parents didn't play a part. I will tell you, if you're a parent listening to me, don't blame yourself for anything. By church, so many parents cannot discuss issue of poverty age with their daughters. That's how it's worse. So when they go out there, friends teach them. When they go out there, society teach them. All of these things, so much they are mentally prepared. Now, also trouble marker, they don't even know where to go to because they can't talk to their parents. I just told you about a child who complained that the father was abusing her, and the mother stood the ground. I said it never happened, and started preaching me that spiritually they've dealt with it. Past priest has prayed for. So our religious organizations can do better. We see what is happening. The reality is there. We need to have a place where we can put these people together and talk to them. For instance, we'll issue of this live event in Emeketa. Now go say enough na Facebook. Talk to them about dangers of these things. And again, we keep back as a safe place. And office and where some things being put in place. I'm glad because when I was back home, I don't think those things were in place. A lot of things happened, but I'm glad those things are. And then again, another measure, same way, like a definite punishment for anybody. Because I think because in Aga jail 5 years or 6 years, it ends there. People are just doing it and getting away with it. Same way as in amam can get sick way but him new kubna same way definite measure, a very severe one. Obu na enwete ga enwete. Aburu ihe kpetere na ekpere. Ị ga-ata afufu ya. You be punished. Ndị ọzọ ewerekwa anya afu. And then again, I don't think our people handle intelligence so well because before Imalian Agan information spread there, ndị nke nọkwa na kazole ezo akana operate now the next action line of action, how they are being, how they are tracing them. I don't know how our people manage information, but I still give it to the Nigerian police. They are doing their best. Agwa gewe maru. You understand? Onye jidere obu no kwezoku ya agbopute ezoku n'onu. And sometimes people don't want to be helped because they are so soaked into it. Parents say you should wrap here in a church. If you can do what you need to do. If you need to, I feel at some point I begin to feel like the package is why I can makari akande keta. Onye kam bu nse mam na nna papa enwe m ike nata. My mother get tiri mkpusi no ose. O get tigide m yesi no ose. That is bagota ajasa. It's in ebe ke iga. Do you understand? We don't have all of those things in place. So my own concern about ndị ụka should be able to help because ebe aka majority of people gathering. Inwe ike na agwa nwunye go okwu nne emene nke but ụkọchukwu gwa narị pastor sikwa narị asem Chineke agwa gị ya. So ndị anu nwe nekwasara anya were kwa opportunity to minister to people. It's not about signs and wonders. When we have a change character, a change mindset, a lot of things will change. A lot of things will be good and better. Oborom na aga church go bu so na nne da akwa m a certain kind of clothes, dress in a certain way. Name say, oh no, church aka na aga. How about my character? Like this, my sister said. Don't be surprised that woman no na group na church and no na one of and money bata inside them. Like there's a story now trending in the UK. A lady housed another lady, Nigerian. But the same matter can equal. Why are we mean to ourselves? This is another story, but it's all abuse. We're talking about abuse. You gotta go. So in I said when if the lady in a church on the Lord is good all the time. Whereas Obi Nkume, Odebe Madi no over years against their will. It's happening, don't think it's happening everywhere. So him na yob makandi ndi ozwatolo we be pastors. Please do beyond prayers and there's a place for counseling, there's a place for wisdom, there's a place for prayer. Okay, so we take all the time to kabash, take 1 hour to speak in tongues, take 50 hours to do deliverance. Have you sat people down to talk to them? You mallow the level of their thinking, what is going on, what they're going through. Like the girl, where somebody intervened by conversation or anything that engaged her. Trust me, one of the things I look at in this case is inferiority complex. It's not even about giving me money or not giving me money. And like I said to them, forget really the issue of virginity out of this matter. Was lost. How can we curb this situation? How can we get into the young people? How many times a church in a crusade all the time have they ever organized, things to engage young people, to have a one-on-one sessions? It's not about empowerment. Speak to them. Sometimes these people, some of them now fall into these situations because so many of them, the pressure they're even facing is from their parents. I can tell you for real. Some of them, their parents are pressuring them. So when they cry out, they only see the society. There's nobody, there's no definite. Now, when my concern about our people like the police, if there is a way, because I'm not really comfortable seeing them where a definite means to call. If a child is in distress, same way, a softer way. To connect. There must be a code. I must not say let there be a code. Teach these children. Like even na lolo. And where if you see something like that at work, you will keep press your phone. You just say anything. Like the dog is out of the the cage. Is a code. Office codes it. They know I'm in danger. So these are some of the things I expect the church, the school, to put in place. And then it gets to the police because sometimes they may not have access. And that's like in Docha. But these are small things. I like the fact not saying we're third party. But how active are they in other places? Because things are happening. Not okay for social media came. When you look beyond this, anyway, a lot of things most, So yeah, Baba, I really like this thing. I wish I can stay more. I have another meeting. They are even calling me. Seriously, but I'm more concerned because of young people. On a wutem na a lot of damages and then we're in Yamaka. Because sitting here 1 or 2 in place. Ndi nwekwa no koraf. I say me this crusade. Organize something, talk to young people. Mali hen aga hanisi. Because nkibuzi mother as a do on the high, Carizian and keep azwa. So that's just
in a hurry. Let me ask you before you go. You can mute your mic. Let's now move to what men are doing, because we've said what women are doing, their house help and everything. Now let's move to men. You referenced Odogwu and Asaba and Favor. That is the recent trend of what's happening. So are you saying that that was actually a proper case of abuse and not hookup gone wrong that people are saying it is? Following what happened, the chat, the girl's life. Are you saying that is typical abuse? Somebody was abused and she took her life because she was abused? Or are you saying that she took her life because a transaction failed? Over to you, my sister.
Okay, thank you. So, all depends. Anyhow to suit them. We no longer look at somebody is a victim here, whether you like it or not. Now, Baba, assuming I look up to you because look at what you're doing. Whether you like it or not, I feel like you are somewhere above there, and I look up to you. It won't seem forget the issue of will or consent. Now, this girl is a younger girl. Even when I'm counseling young people, in relationship, I say no matter how wise you think you are as a woman, enwere ihe Chineke tie n'ụmụ nwoke ọ ga-abụ ọgwa gị like this dakwa n'isi adọrọ gị ma n'isi adọgụ ma nwekwa ihe nwoke ga-abụ ọsa gị like this omo, you know. So that's just so coming to this girl, like I said earlier, this guy have weighed everything around her before I'm not reach out. Now you mem sizam okay ngwa biazia ka I made this deal like this, like that, like that. Maybe because of all these things, now kopalogi some things, obviously, like I want the conversation. Why not screenshot the whole message from when they started? We didn't see that part. I want people to be logical about, you know, before you make statement and all. Go on and read and, you know, let's see the entire thing. So, ihe na-ekwu na bụ na concerning this girl, enwere ihe this man ọhụrụ o use over this girl and the girl cannot even picture it. Now, apart from the money, so this girl probably out of self inferiority complex, overlook at what has happened, you know, this and that, the shame, the guilt. But if you ask me, this guy took a greater advantage of this naive girl. Also, no, Abuja. Madu weke sigini makwana my father na Dangote ga the same so in ebe anwa oweziokwu. Omo ikoburu no na eme onu. Na ngara Abuja now. We all watch Ron's girl on TV in Hollywood those days. Abuja was the highest place. So omu komere. Look at that girl odigi. I'm not saying you can't judge anybody by the way they look, but look at, you know, you know. So all these things about and we're praying, we're predator. Every time I come anywhere, I'll tell them, even here, you must not connect wherever you see. Look at, anyway, I don't even know what to say, but this matter, to be honest, I feel like the society needs to play a bigger role. Her parents, opportunity. If you are trying to get somebody, a young man was saying, I provide my younger sister everything. This and that. It's not even enough. It's not enough. You know, it's not enough. You need to sometimes. How many parents now say so more? Where relationship between this girl and the parents, she probably would have said. And then on your guabu sister, how much advice, how exposed is the sister to even advise her to start with? So it's still within them. And to be honest with you, how much of the truth can one year? Because I hate when people are playing victim. How much of the truth can the girl now? Do you know? So my conclusion in all this matter now. I'm a very young lady, thankfully, you know, settled and all. But even when age range, at least 3 years. We can ask my uncle or him now do you get? So this thing is a case of onya psyche go this girl. Man or where anything, so anything can go. In the issue of what was a blackmail. Now, possibility no this girl, whatever she was demanding for, the matter would have died. There is still possible. That's why I never conclude. But then we are looking at the wrongs from because some of the girl no kito but on us. In high name now, but konyo na motenhe. Cause de mezina. Oburozi ane jezi no onye nwuru anwugo mani ha nyekuzina oze mezina. Onwere ihe dị na mmadụ sigi nyeli ya if you can't help ima na ahụ ga-eji igi na you can't hold it, you dismiss it. Na enwere time or you pay me a certain amount of money. We go straight to business. Ihe abu nwoke on the girl mekwara approach from ihe ayi otraba then ohumbazi lapses or take advantage of it we banye yimi oruzie na nke ndikwa na ndekwa all the girl mere onwe ya onwe onye si anwo. But I feel like inferiority complex. I feel like I lost this, I lost that, I didn't even get what, you know, so what's there to live for and there's nobody to talk to, which isn't. So it's where also we also need to come in about in case also abuse to tell young people suicide is never the answer. Suicide is never an option. Your parents must not provide everything for you. Happens you But then kaigwa hana, no matter what one is going through, obu na enwe reliable source when you this game we go. Trust me, obu na we go the good friends. You know, they would have talked her out of it. She would have mentioned nekwa ihe chọrọ ime nekwa. Now I'm thinking this in asi ata onye mbu. You might go something like that. E were kwa njakịrị coach appear n'ime ya. But because onwere on your trust enough, if you ask me, that's my own observation, right? So for the guy, all the wrong. Ikpo ya gawa ebe ọ gawara, and advantage go take a big one, but who knows? Baba, I no go talk with you, I don't know, because I know they at the end of the day high for kaiji ekwoku, right? My own bu oze mezina kai murako. That's all. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Dalorin. Ikenga ị ga-agbanye kamera gị ka ị na-afụ ihu gị. No, you are a man too, because ichekwa abuse ọ dịka ụmụ nwoke ọkakwa njọ n'isi, because ekwubu okwu sexual abuse ma lecturers na-asị nwatakịrị na-abịa before ọ pass anya, you know, mental abuse ma ndị na-abuse ụmụ boy ha. Chọma tiela anyị ọnụ n'okwu Odogwu Asaba ya na favor this recent abuse thing. You know, what do you think about the situation? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so there's a reason why laws exist about certain things. Imana, most of our people, and I'm gonna just piggyback on what the previous speaker was saying about our people love blaming the victim, and the victim blaming is great when it's a woman. It speaks generally about how women are considered in the society. A typical runs girl does not buy themselves because a runs went bad. They go do another runs. I mean, what is 50,000? Like, now, looking at the father and looking at the mother, you could clearly tell the type of family that this girl comes from. They're talking about 7 million naira bill, hospital bill, and all that stuff. So this talks about what I'm talking about generationally and what poverty can sometimes do. Because the reason why I hate poverty is because it deprives people of choices and options. That's why somebody can be talking about virginity or no virginity, 10K and 50K. But I don't even know what 50K can buy, to be honest with you. And it's not because I'm trying to be obtuse about the reality of most Nigerians. What I'm saying is that for somebody who typically does runs, that, with our hair, oboro maka, from the conversations, again, now we don't have the full conversations, but from the conversations, clearly, there is a thing where imana onya no ginokburu oya nemena in your workplace boss mehe to wanya and I say, oh, why did you seduce me? If when Bill Clinton, for example, it's looked at from a position of power. This is a person that was kind of known on social media on the red pill side of the internet. So yeah, brought somebody that was like in obscurity or whatever, right? So there's a thing of, with the ego from this person. Now, she's obviously an adult by number, right? But the age gap is so, like, it's 22 years old. So that means like there's a thing that a lot of Nigerian men, and I don't care how offended people are, women, I catch ya young. You also saw from the comments that a matter of blame the young lady. Now, a crime was, obviously now where this girl cannot wake up and tell us what happened. Ongo. Do you know the kind of traumatic thing that will have to happen? After copulating, you need drugs for it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So people also understand, forget that sometimes, in a tigo when at this situation, every single day in universities around Nigeria, old men, old enough to be grandfathers, sitting in front of, IMSU, sitting in front of wherever, just to take these children. And again, I'll bring poverty into it. If you're sending your child to school So yeah, I tell Nigerians all the time, if you don't have money to send your kid to school, then don't do that. Let them learn a trade or something. Why? Because my grandmother would say barrier where they have to now go and source for those things. Oh, my parents in Ano, they are in their 40s, 50s. No, check and one had in a college. Why would a 22-year-old be going out there? Nemerons or onwe ye na say go to your parents. So on a general parents here na 10k ndi ahụ yiri ndị ya we 50k nye nwu ya. So these things that him jina agwa even at the family level, you know, ị ga-ahụ na mama ya wonye no na-ekwu ịmakwa akantị nwoke anọ no gbe ikpere na-ekwuru nwoke ibi ya. You know, ọ bụ na ndị police adịbeghị involved in this case. Nwoke ayicha no onye ya awụnụ o si eweteba di ego, because we've seen it happen. These type of cases or real abuse. A politician Umahi, for example. Now, I am in that one. The type of comments in the Nigerian live with that. So all runs Sukoje. Ibrugoda shawo. Okay, make what is it called in Igbo? I'm having Idina Nike, right? Yeah. Okay, make Idina Nike. It is still a crime. Like the fact that somebody is a sex worker or for here because all transaction. Yes, I digi maka ijerira ahoge. Mana a crime, commit a crime. Whether ne etrigi ihe meru ga hakpo ya abuse. So these are the things where, and we also neglect psychological abuse. And when you hear gwa mmadụ ụmụaka niile na nke ndị nke na-eme eme abuse onwe ha. You know, we're talking about the age gap now. Obugodi na this man, they were 20 years old, this was 22 years old, and the same thing happened. Oh yeah, the same thing so abuse they go so cultural. This case gachakwana I went to another case. I'm more focused on the house help particularly because all oga na watakre. These are minors. He got to go like favor or brugodi 22, or the 20, be 22 or something. Or brugodi onye ya wono by the law they go adults. Those are the ones that I really focus on, and I focus on women issues a lot, just because because me, I'm woman for woman, mana nkobuna ha ne metaro. Okwa muwa kwa nejikwa that same platform janye ha ka mmejikwa that same platform gwa ha na ihe a na-eme ụmụaka and ụmụnwaanyị Igbo now. The thing about it is like if we tie it into ụmụnwaanyị Igbo now, ọ bụ na ya eme ihe a ọ bịa bụrụ ihe eji mara ụmụnwaanyị Igbo. That's not a flex. Ọ bụrụ ihe a eji nwu dey proud. Obro ihe anyị ejiwu ama ụmụnwaanyị Igbo as ndị asa, you know, anyị amaka, we are industrious, we do all those other things, all those great things. But this one has now become the scarlet letter now, that whether we like it or not, on a ha biala ka ihe ji na ache anyị, and I am standing in the gap of that and saying it's not going to be on our watch. We will continue to speak on it, and you know, we will continue to shine the light and support, you know, ndị kwano like the police, ndị ministries and in the agencies in Dobona, and also everybody broke while the whistleblower if we are, and when they will not say anything. You have to start saying something, and I think the more we see it in the news and we see that those people go in for it, Nana try jail, I think it will start to, you know, change our minds about the police is also our friend, right? And this case is where attention now how you take it seriously, and I think that can start helping to hopefully start working in redressing this thing in our culture. Thank you.
Okay, Dalarin Chomi, SP. I know you're a very critical person. I'm gonna get Abagon Kata off record, and then some of the things you tell me about cases. So I'm really very critical about issues. So I'm now asking you, of course, I'm now investigate their breast with what is going on in the case of Odogu Asaba and Favor Worry. What do you think happened? Do you think is a hookup gone wrong, or do you think is a virgin wild girl that wants to start but it did not start well, or do you think is a typical case of abuse and then the girl now took her life. Please go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you. Before I respond to that, when Kings, I don't know her full name, but something Kings, when she was making her own remark, she mentioned something about we should try to step up our game in terms of providing phone numbers that children can call, so that whenever they need assistance. So I try to I tried to explain it, but maybe she didn't get what I was trying to say. But it's also her of a view that we should try and do something better. But the truth is now, we are what is happening is a product of what the society is. Some of those children that you want them to report incidences doesn't even have access to phone, unlike where you are in UK, and some other places are in other countries that are well developed more than Nigeria. So it's a thing that it is in process. So just pardon us. For now, just like I mentioned to everyone that is listening, that we are really trying our best, and the Nigerian police is very intentional in what we do. So please, just pardon us for now. We are not there. We know we are not there yet, but we know we will always get better. But for now, our control room number is out there. My personal phone number is out there. The Commissioner of Police phone number is out there. People have always reached out to us, unlike what we have been seeing before. And we also have third parties that can also reach out to us, just like I mentioned. So having said that, on that incident that happened in concerning that popularly known blogger as Odogwu Asaba and Favor, let me say that even if his hookup gone wrong, it does not justify the end of how the thing went. The girl taking her life. I am saying this to provoke a thought. Provoke a thought in the sense that we are talking about what led to her death. Have we talked about the family history of the girl? Whether there is a kind of suicidal tendency, in the sense that when this kind of incident happened. From the clips that we are seeing, you see that yes, society women are part of the conscience of the society, and because of the delicate nature of the position they occupy in the society, when this kind of thing happen, they tend to win a whole lot of comments to themselves. But this girl in question, from the clips that we have seen on social media, she might be naive on what she is doing, but she's also provoking that kind of she's also provoking her environment to that kind of danger that she later got into herself. For her to leave her space where she is and went to a particular place, it is not something that started today. Yes, let's say that she's doing it on a naive aspect of it, but that's where the parenting comes now. Because if you watch the kind of hair the girl is wearing, and considering the kind of family she comes from what is being portrayed on social media, I'm not talking as a law enforcement agent now. I'm critically analyzing some of these issues so that we can discuss this as it may be. But that does not justify how she ended. Why I'm trying to say this is because if you see the context of hairs she's wearing, even her phone, and the boldness of some of the interviews that she has conducted, you will see that she's provoking, or rather, she's not she's not mentally okay to be exposing herself that way before what happened. Now, in terms of trying to come up with that aspect of being disvirgin, a lot of things have been disvirgin in her. There are some of the level of disvirginity she has. She has gone to clubs. She wears provocative clothes. That is a level of even her not being how do I put it, mentally okay to be wearing, or mentally strong to a level of understanding what she is wearing to be okay. So now, for the law to take its course, I believe this guy in question did actually wrong. He took advantage of that girl in as much as she is naive. But the truth to be said, some provocative things that this girl done actually led to this, but that does not justify what that guy did, because I know outside the country people wear a whole lot even more provocative of what the way she is wearing. But still, that goes back to the parents. When you see the kind of phone the girl is holding, you see the kind of hair she wears. She left her house comfortably, and for her to leave that house where she is staying, I believe this is not the first time, and there was no a kind of red flag, or rather worry, from the parents or even from the twin. That means she has been doing it. But the truth be said, the parents also have to take a blame in this, because there are some behaviors and attitude, things that you see within, or when your children are being is using, you should know that is a red flag. Like the kind of phone the girl is using, considering the level of display of the kind of parents I see on social media. When the father sees that child, or he sees that his daughter holding that kind of phone, it's supposed to be a red flag for him. He will not be querying him, favor, why are you doing this kind of thing? What is this? What is this? You understand? So Odogwu has to face what he did, not your Odogwu Asaba. He has to face what he did, and I know that Delta State Police Command will actually do a whole lot in using this to sensitize the youth, and I know that law must take its course and make sure that he faces the music he has already played for himself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You can mute your mic, sir. There is an angle where you went to that I want you to also illuminate on. A lot of us, were emotional when death is involved. Sometimes we just keep. Sometimes we need to keep emotions aside and then critically analyze it, and that is what I believe you're doing. You said something, and I picked. You said a lot of things have been disvirgined in her. Because when we talk about virginity, it is not just our private parts also. If you smoke for the first time, you have disvirgined your smoking virginity. You understand? Anything you do for the first time, you have disvirgined. Some people are still virgins when it comes to going to club. They've not gone to club before. Some people are virgins when it comes to smoking. You understand? What is the role of some of those things that she has disvirgined before now that people are not seeing? People are just seeing the one that has to do with her genitals. Can do the role those ones she disvirgined before, because when they now say virgin sequence no kwano. For that's not virgin sequence the free. Now back club virginity, it doesn't. So what are the roles that those things she has disvirgined have played in her life that all of us were not taking note of? Please go ahead, sir. On your mic, sir.
Okay, why I said that a lot of things has been disvirgin in her is because if you watch, considering her age and what she looks like, you will see that a whole lot has gone wrong. That is where parenting comes in now. There are some things that parents or guardians should see in their children or their words. It's supposed to be a red flag, and that red flag supposed to be something of worry for that child. Now, part of the thing that has actually gone wrong in her that was not checkmate, her provocative dressing, considering her age, her having that I don't think at the age of 20 I have the courage as a man to leave my parents' house to another state. While I was growing up anyway. I don't know for her. So, but at her age, she's comfortable leaving her father's house and going to a place where she doesn't know anything about. Okay. The exposure she has, because I also want to balance this, because maybe her parents, that's where the parents comes in now, they didn't do their work well, because they exposed her to start looking for money or start looking will I say quest. She was seen, she saw herself as a space where she was in a quest for survival. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So, and that quest for survival exposed her to a whole lot that she thinks she's educated enough to contain, without knowing that she's actually endangering herself. And that brought her to the incident that happened to her. And it's something that I strongly believe that her parents should be blamed because of this. Because for her to leave that house, dressed the way she dressed, considering her age, maybe, I wouldn't say, she brings in for the father or the mother and they sees her as Udogu, as the case may be. My girl is trying to survive, or my girl is actually trying, but they didn't know that she's exposing herself before this thing happened. Now let's go back to her family history. You know, suicidal tendencies are something that at times you check the person's background, whether it has happened within their family or not. But that doesn't mean that as a youth, when something beyond you happens to you, especially in a well-developed country, I don't want to mention some countries, but I know that it is more in abroad than here. In fact, our people here will even tell you jokingly, "Owana toka eha kena acho Igbo onwegi." So you will see that the way she took her life is not really a fantastic thing to talk about. But the truth now, before her dying declaration, which is what we are holding on to now, that why she took her life is because of what happened between her and Odogu. So that's why she took her life. So it is a theme of discussion, and Odogu must face this music because this is her dying declaration.
Okay, officer, you can off your mic. Adam, I have some comment section. Some comment section are coming for your head. They say, "Officer, why are you talking like this?" You know, some of us, I had a na Odogu is right. I had a maka odinihu. I had a kande no we muta ihe. You know, some of us will say, or makana okwete, or makana also gijebe, or makana ome that give you the right. And we post for on social media. Somebody say now, sometimes, and we uzo no, emana uza, nega anya na abane, na wike inagi phone gi. Asige nge aga na uza na abane. They will say aga na uza na abane. Onye na-asị gị aga n'ụzọ a n'abalị, of course it is not right for ndị ochi ịnọ n'ụzọ n'abalị for any reason. It's not their right. Ịga n'ụzọ a n'abalị does not give them the right to rob you. Mana this is the situation of the environment. Is about being realistic. Onye na-agwa gị aga n'ụzọ a n'abalị a, it must be attack. Come on, I can go to where I want to go. I can go to where I want to go. Mana that you are exposed to some of these things. And just like Esehukita, of course, Odogu will face the music he has played for himself, but somebody is dead. And we can, before justice will come, and we go something that has already damaged beyond repair. Oihana Ekumakia. So, Adamafu bless. Constructively following us. Thank you very much. Ikenga achọrọ m ejoge now as a police officer. Kedu ihe bụ ndakpo? Kedu ihe bụ no eme akpọ ọnya ndakpo? Kedu mgbe ndakpo ji wee bụrụ a crime? When kedu, because enwe ndị say na you know sometimes nge na nwanyị nọdụ ị na-ayị ya yote enya aka before wee kwete. Iwe ike nwanyị bịa be gị ihe o jiri ya 12 na-akụ 1 na-akụ 4 sizi gị ngwa nge bịa. So kedu mgbe bụ no emesie asịsị na ihe a bụ ndakpo and then ịda gị iwu? Please help us as a police officer. Go ahead.
Okay, ndakpo, what you actually mean is rape, right? Okay, rape simply means when a woman or a man.
Ndakpo maka kale flag ya down. Ndakpo, all you mean. Ndakpo.
Okay, ndakpo simply means when, because ndakpo are the mess also na wine on a meku man and woke. So ndakpo simply means when there is no consent. So when there is no consent, I feel that it's something that is supposed to be flagged. It's something that's supposed to be reported. So it was sitting and walking, goes to the wine. Now, Operos also virgins can adapt. An adapt dinner na an adapt onye nugoro wine. An adapt onye nugo di. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So once I never consent, whether virgin or not virgin, I'm a serious it requires something of worry. And in here in Nigeria is being treated as a criminal offense. So it will be followed that way. So ndakpo, it simply means when there is no consent. And when there is no consent, I don't think
you can mute your mic. Please, when you talk about consent, and when indirect and direct consent, sometimes some of us won't go experience. You know, a chalk metu aka or say mba. A bachi ankete or naluo or say that you are not a man. That number say but just go where test that na omega expect for you to persevere. Some of us won't go experience one you say again but a happy or say that a more number say again when boge your ma or bonge memory. Some of us won't go experience ha. And then enwe indirect consent. Enwe ndị na-asị ị na-abịa hotel ị na-abịa ị na-abịa ka ị mee ACM maọbụ fellowship maọbụ ka ị gụọ Bible. Hotel ị na-abịa you can insist on going to an open place. Then be m ị na-abịa be m sị gị bịa ikwete bịa kwete ka ị lalụ ka ihe iche na ị ga-eme. Ị na-abịa ka m na gị kpaba nkata. Then ị bịa change into my polo. Isi m chie gị polo. Nchie gị polo. Enwere ihe iyi n'ime. Ịghọtago now. Then mbịazịa isikwa m mba. Then nnọkwa ọ dịkwa ka ịtọ nọkwa metụ. You know, enwe direct consent. Nwe indirect consent. Or do you think that no is no? Whether ma onye abịa be gị ma oyipolo gị ma ọ sị gị ngwa me obele, do you think that no is no? Enwe indirect enwe, because mana enwe ihe ndị na-akpọ leading on, you know. And some of us, when somebody is leading you on, even as a man to a girl, when a man is leading a girl on, girls know. Some of us no go one keta. Enwe kiesi we na go nwanyi okwu, you are leading the girl on. Ima go there that na inu go nwanyi. So do you think na enwe direct and indirect consent? Cause say na asị gị no, gbawa do si ebe a pụọ. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I now put too small na what we are discussing today, but I'll respond to what you have said. Because if I can remember, we started with abuse. Now we came up with instance of Chiziteram, and now we are at the level of discussing what happened in Delta State. You see, we should learn how to be matured and learn how to be a gentleman when it comes to relationship with opposite sex. At times, those things you feel or you are pushing as a narrative might just be innocent way, or both opposite and negative, both male and female, just to say, I like being around you. But don't take advantage of someone being available around you to take it further or misinterpret it. That is where the misinterpretation comes. And just like I said, in maturity, at times the age of these young ladies, they are not mentally understanding most of their disposition in terms of that the man misinterpreting it. It is expected that when a man is more matured than a woman, you should act like a gentleman and not being offensive. The instance you gave, that a lady comes to a man's house and she didn't go that day and she wears the man's clothes, that does not justify the man doing or going after what he knows, or even emendable. Let me just put it that way. It's not a yardstick for it. So it goes back to the society itself. We should there should be a lot of sex education. There should be a lot of this discussion, so that people will not start taking advantage of innocent things that people being available and taking advantage of them. So it's something of worry, and I hope that this incident that happened in Delta, we all use it to learn and make sure that it doesn't happen again. And I strongly believe that Delta State Police Command will do justice to it. Of course, Odogu must actually face the music he has played. Thank you.
Dalorin Kenga, you can mute your mic. Ndị Igbo, unu anụgo here from a police officer. Even from my comment section, blessed dogs, you know, this mindset have put so many Koromoto men in jail. Nwoke ibe m, because whether my consent are the indirect or direct, enura na mba, hapụzi anya. Sekpọ gị coward, sekpọ gị that na ịmara ihe alụ, sekpọ gị onye mgbu. Because elukwa imegide ba na trouble, enwekwa send whether ma akpọ gị onye mgbu ka ọ bụ Jew man. Biko, enura ana, o mere ana ahụ sị gị ọ chọrọ. Okwe gị me go and stay somewhere else. Okwe gị me nye efe. Amam na sometimes na obajuo dolo otu a na you don't know how to do it. Obajuo dolo nye efe. Biko no. No is no. Mba bụ mba. Obgodi na okwuro mba. Obgodi na ose balo na aga. Please, Ikenga, achọ meju gị lastly. Enwe a case of a man abused nwa nwanya. Also na olubu with Udogachi. Even if you go that news, you know, also na olubu with Udogachi. Na nwa adịka 15. Kedu ihe ga-emegide a man ọbụlụ nwa ya ka ọ dị na-arụ ka ọ jee dakpo? You're a police officer. Some of these cases comes to your table every day. Oh no, be enemy ha interrogate. Kedu ihe ga-emegide? Kedu problem anyị as ụmụ nwoke? We're not talking as men. What is our problem as men? Ke ifidi ga-emegide ọbụlụ nwatakịrị mụrụ amụ bụzi ebe bụ no ijezie iwe mee ife nwa. Please, as a policeman, this is the last thing I will take from you. Then, if you think something about us that we need to work on and adjust, let us know. Ikenga, please, finally.
Okay. That case is before the court, and assuming it has not been taken to court, I can comment on it. But since it's before the court, I know that I can't say anything on it. But I can tell you that it's a thing of worry to also let you know that the level of decay in the society and the level of concern we should have in the society now that this kind of thing is actually happening. Having said this, I want to conclude by saying that there is no justification for someone to emendable. You should not see an innocent person's availability and a vulnerable girl's availability to use it against her or mere otherwise. It's something that you should be a gentleman. And the same thing, so that where our parents are not doing it well, we can actually talk to ourselves. Because I believe that with this kind of platform, a lot of people have been reached, a lot of people have learned, a lot of people have been informed, and a lot of thoughts have been provoked also in terms of so many things that we have discussed. I know that some persons will also discuss it in their mind. But let them not misinterpret some of these thoughts that we have talked about. Some persons trying to say that we are not siding the victim, or some persons trying to say that we are not siding the suspect. Nobody is justifying what Odogu did. But all these things are discussions that we need to bring up so that you don't even expose yourself as a girl. Just like the way you gave instance of some places not to go at night. because that place is not a place where you are meant to be as a girl at that particular time. It's not only rape, or sorry, it's not only Ndabo, but maybe the person's phone can be collected. Something bad might even happen to the person. So these are thoughts that we need to provoke so that people should know that they should be mentally okay. They should be strong in mind before they engage in some for activities that is meant to them, for them. Thank you.
You can mute your mic. Let me sign out, boss. I can SP Tochukwu Ikenga, the police PRO. Ana m ayọ ndị Igbo. Some of us now pass down some of this trauma that we went through as ụmụazị to our children. All mmadụ ga-akọ to every form of generational curse. Enwe ihe parents get pass down to you. All go ka ọ dịkwa pass ya down to your children or ịkọ to ya. Energy I break poverty in our lineage, our generation. I will break abuse. Some of us as young fathers now, we knew that when we were small, our father never hugged us. Talk more of telling us, I love you. I love you, deka miracle. Man, some of us now are still doing it to our children without knowing. Oh, to abuse ode. Some of this, it is trauma. All trauma pass. All kesi kwagoku, kesi balogemba. Ebi igba boy, kesi we treat na igba boy. Kesi we chokwa pass ya down to people. Cut to zianya, cut that chain of abuse. Cut what that culture. Do better. We can do better as a people. Actually, this comment will end. And we're commenting for. Na mgbe post na anyị na-ekwu maka ihe a. So I will leave you with this comment so that you will go and then meditate on it and then question yourself. One person wrote, this is Foloki Omobo. He or she commented, "It's an Igbo problem," which I disagree. Anyway, it's an Igbo problem, endemic levels that have become a culture. I believe it stems from a mass illiteracy amongst Igbo males who are enrolled into the Nwa Boy system before they are truly grounded with home morals. A lot of them are maltreated by their oga, and these boys find an emotional outlet by hurting others verbally and physically in the market spaces, touching females without respect and cursing out anyone who dares to fight back. The patriarchal nature of the Igbo societies easily place those poorly educated, badly behaved, now grown boys in positions they aren't fit for. The ripple effect is what we see today: incapability to hold intelligent discussions and frustration hidden under insults. Let me leave you with this comment. This conversation will continue. I told you guys that bam, you can't predict us. I na-ekwu maka ọdịmma ndị Igbo. Igbo ga-adịmma, I gonna etinye on. Remember that our show is open for anybody to join, even though we may have our guests that were planned to join before now, but you too as a fan, as an audience, can come up and say some of these things. So plan to be one of our guests in future. Anna Mekene Modika Blessed Dom, you've been very active. I don't know whether you are the Blessed Dom on Facebook, but you've been very active, and thank you very much for joining us. Anna Mekene Modika, there is another person that used to join us even from the last time, Afiabido with Aro. I was seeing his or her comment before now. I'm trying to stroll to know whether I will see her. Something Aro, Raudon or something. Thank you guys for always joining us and always supporting us. Enwe nke anyị na-eme tọrọ unu na-alaikero biko gbayalụ na anyị subsequently anyị na-eme anyị na-amụta anyị na-eme anyị na-amụta. Sorry for not I didn't see your question. Is it to me? Blessed Dom, was the question to me or to any of the guests? Let me know whether I will answer it before I go. Sorry, I didn't see any of the questions. I asked questions, but you didn't reply. Can you ask now so that I can reply if it's for me? But if it's for any of our guests, we may have to keep it for some other time. Okay, for the police. Oh, so sorry. So sorry. I have to let the SP to go because, you know, he has been with us since 6 p.m. So, Biko, we have to keep it for next time. Biko, let's see next time. Dalono.